You know, road rage, you guys. It is something so stupid to lose your life over. And I'll be the first to admit that when somebody drives stupid, look, I've seen a lot of accidents in my life. I did a small stint as an EMT out in San Diego, plus just naturally always seeing car accidents, especially overseas. You know, I understand the severity of the trauma that takes place when some asshole driving 125 miles an hour on the shoulder is like blowing past everybody and it's some idiot kid. Now, don't get me wrong, I've also done that horrible thing many times in my life. When I was a kid, we'd be drinking literally cases of beer in the car, speeding 120 miles an hour on a shoulder in dead stop traffic. I'm talking completely stopped. Now, I wasn't the driver. This crazy ass chick, Christy was. She was nuts. Cool girl, Christy, if you're out there. And that was stupid. It was a horrible thing to do. We're so lucky that nobody got killed and mangled. And so when people drive like an idiot, I get really upset right off the bat. I do. This is something I've worked on though a lot in my life, where the moment that I start to feel like road rage specifically, I immediately recognize it and then I intervene my thoughts into something more positive. Specifically, that person's life sucks so much, which my life also did back then as well, based off my own mental state, that they need to do this in order to feel some sort of sense of importance. Now, that's not why I did it. I did it because we were just drunk, idiot, moron buffoons. But most people who are driving in these manners are doing it because they need to feel some sort of sense of significance. And that's how much their life sucks. Their life is so horrible that that's what they do to feel significant. Now, what do you do in your life to feel significant? Because I do a lot more than drive like a douchebag to feel significant in my life. My significance is driven from my purpose, and my purpose is that of to serve, and that of to serve specifically within the talents and the skills and the knowledge that I've acquired in my life as a kid running around on the streets of Chicago, a world traveler, a special operations Marine combat deployed through multiple combat zones, a suicidal, drunk, homeless adult that was dead broke, into, who I am here now and today. That's a lot of experiences that I can bring to the table and mold in a really unique format and provide that to people so that hopefully, one, they don't ever have to undergo the same mistakes that I made in my life, because those are very painful lessons that probably could have been avoided if I would have had some specific guidance and mentorship. But to also keep them safe in their life, because that's where my specialty of skill lies, is that of personal safety and awareness. And the combination of it all brings a very unique perspective on safety and awareness and presence in the quality of one's life. That's what my purpose ultimately is. And that's where a lot of my significance is driven from, is from that, when I'm participating in that action, not when I'm driving down the highway like an asshole, not when I'm being rude in a grocery store line, not while I'm, being disrespectful to the people around me. That is where people whose lives suck drive their significance from. And that sucks. That sucks that their life is so bad that they feel they need to act that way in order to gain some sort of recognition of importance within society, because everybody is capable of so much more than that. That's the sad part of using justified lethal self-defense, is that who knows the conditions of this person's life and where they're coming from and what their background is, their story, their conditioning mentally, emotionally. But the odds are, because I truly think that all humans are capable of doing amazing, great, good things. I think we are all born inherently with this sense of innocence where we can create and cultivate skills based off of the conditioning of the environment that we're in at first, of course, but that anybody can cultivate skills that can have an amazing positive impact on the world. And when you have to use justified lethal self-defense against that person that was misconditioned or, given the luck of the draw, and so they got the crappy stick, and they were raised in some crazy environment. I can empathize with that because I've seen these crazy environments. I've lived with some of these people in the world, the craziest of environments, literally side by side, not knowing who these strangers are. I'm talking, I've been with thousands of them, armed to the teeth with machine guns, big old dishkas, explosives, RPGs, and you're in the middle of nowhere with these people and you're living with them. I ate spam for like 60 days straight. It was disgusting, but guess what? That's what the fuck they did. And so that's what I had to do too. So I get it when people are coming from these environments, and it's not like I did a day trip there. I've spent years of my life in these environments and continue to some degree or another. And so it's sad that that's where they gain their significance from, because they were raised in those environments, those crazy, negative environments. What I would call for you to do, the person who has good moral consciousness, the person who has good moral intent in providing positive service to their community, to this world, what I would challenge you to do is to consciously intervene against your negative thoughts when it comes to things like road rage. Again, I've seen the damage that vehicles can do when they collide with one another, but just remember that until it happens, it hasn't happened. And this person's life is so miserable that they gain significance from driving like that. And then I want you to look at you and your life and the service that you provide to this world, or that you maybe can provide to this world. Maybe you aren't following through on your life goals and dreams, and that creates a sense of anxiety and anger and frustration and dissension within yourself. And so therefore you find it really relieving in the temporary moment to be angry at somebody for driving like a douchebag, or something like road rage, for example. However, at a minimum, I want you to evaluate the purpose that you gain significance from. And that could be being a father, being a husband, a friend, a son. It could be anything. And think to yourself how much you actually enjoy that. Because if you enjoy it a little bit, then obviously your life is better than that person who's driving like a douchebag down the road. Your life is way better than that person. Because if you could derive significance from anything besides acting like a douchebag, then your life is pretty damn good. It's better than the person who for sure only can derive a sense of significance and importance from other people by acting like a douchebag. That dude's life sucks. Your life doesn't. And remember that when you get mad at them for behaving the way that they are, you're allowing them to emotionally hijack you in the present moment that you are in. And that could be with your family, with your wife, with your loved ones. And now because you're upset about that, you might miss a critical moment in this life, present moment in your life with your loved ones. So the more time you allow yourself to be angry at that person for gaining their petty significance from acting like a douchebag, remember that that is a negative thought that you shouldn't be having. It doesn't contribute to your life, your lifestyle, your existence, your love anymore at all. It takes away from it. And when you recognize that and then think about where you gain significance from the purposes that you fulfill within your life, remember your life is way better than his, and then get right back to it until the accident occurs. Now, if the accident occurs, it's important to know how to get out of your car, ensure that the scene is safe, give your wife good, clear, detailed instructions, articulate exactly what it is that you need for her to do, which I've actually had to do with my wife, by the way, on the side of the highway with a poor older woman who was suffering from some sort of a seizure or a stroke. And she had been there for a little while, couldn't call 911. She had 911 dial on her cell phone. And by the time I was able to pull her out and giving her CPR, it was the worst CPR I've ever given. I mean, it was just disgusting. The sputum and the blood. And I had to literally give my wife clear and articulated instructions on, hey, call 911, tell them we're at this mile marker, pull the blanket out from the back of the truck because it was the summertime. It was super hot out. I was wearing this sweet Hakuna Matata tank top, and I had a party, what do you call those things? Fanny pack. It was blue and pink, and it said party in big pink letters. And I was wearing like super short shorts and sandals. We're on our way to a 311 concert, and I saw this woman having this medical attack on the side of the road. And again, she had been there for some time, you could tell, but we pulled over and tried to help her out as best we could. Point is that if the accident occurs, you need to know how to jump out of your vehicle and actually get down to business and to do this stuff. I'm telling you about these experiences because I want you to know who's talking to you. This isn't me just sitting here being like, oh, you need to be like ready to go and snapped in. This is what I've lived. And I can tell you all that when you know how to do that and you can help somebody, it makes a big freaking difference. And then you start to see these types of events occurring all over the place because your brain is primed, reticular activating system, for another time, topic for another episode. But you become so much more capable of what? Deriving great significance from the value that you're providing, some of the most value that anybody could ever have in their entire life. If you give somebody CPR and they start having a heart attack within the first 60 seconds that they go down, there's like a 90% survival chance rate for that person. You literally just extended their life and gave their life back to their family, gave them a second chance or a third chance even. That's the greatest value you could ever provide to anybody in their life, plain and simple. And you never know it until you're about to lose it. Most of you don't. And it has to do with the conditioning that we have here in the United States and how nice and luxurious it is that we truly don't have to value our own existence. We actually try to destroy it all day with drinking and drugs and various other activities. But my point is this: recognize the significance that you derive from the purpose in your life. Road rage is never worth something to get involved in, especially because so many people get killed doing this stuff these days. And if somebody is jumping out of your vehicle and getting ready to come after you and you have to defend yourself, then you must defend yourself. Remember, hands always, see what they have in their hands, waist, what's along their waist. Are they reaching for their waist? Face, what's their face look like? Are they getting out sad and sorrowful because they bumped into me? Or are they getting out with a lead pipe with an angry look on their face like they're going to start smashing my window in? Because if my family is in the car with me and this guy comes up with a lead pipe, and that's my point, is it's just not worth participating in. And it's sad. I'm going to defend my family. And then it's just going to be another dead body that I'm standing over being like, what the freaking heck? Like, why? What was the point of all this? Every time that that's ever happened to me, I just can't help but think, man, the human body is so crazy and frail, but strong and resilient and intricate. But like, when you see it blown open, it really just kind of puts things in perspective. It's like your soul is it's obviously something completely opposite of that of the physical body. It's wild. And why? Just always rings in my head. Like, why did we have to do this? Somebody's son, somebody's daughter, possibly a brother or a sister or a father or a wife. They had people in their life that cared about them, that felt an emotional connection, a tether to them, a love to them, at least at some point. They were birthed somewhere. It's important to know how to be lethal, guys and ladies, especially ladies. It is truly important to know how to be lethal because all of that crazy chaos is completely avoided when you recognize your life is better than this person's obviously is. You take a moment to observe your present surrounding, who's in the car with you, you're by yourself, your thoughts, your feelings. Just be present. Such a better way to live your life than to be sitting there getting steamed and pissed off over the douchebag who drove 120 miles an hour on the shoulder in deadlock traffic. But if the accident does happen, be there for the people. Be ready. Medical training is so easy. It's ridiculous. I mean, seriously, it is so bleeding plug. Okay, done. Like, so you could do it. Anybody could do it. You know, you never know, the second or third chance you might be giving somebody back. Greatest gift ever, the most value ever. And that's just going to compound in your own significance and what you gain from the value of the impact that you provide to the world as a better human being. Think about this next time you get in a road rage tick. All right, everyone. I love you all. Wish you all the best. If I don't come out with another episode, have a great holiday season. And stay lethal, my friends.